property value updates, as well as changes to Ohio law you might not be aware of. That's Connecting with the Community from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Employment Opportunity Center in the Westtown Shopping Center on West 3rd Street in Dayton. Another example of how Clerk Mike Foley is bringing the courthouse to you.
Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids? Let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
Evan Cohen here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app, share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required, not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
Exactly, Stephen A. He's been here for 10 years, and we're still trying to figure him out. The Justin Kenner Show, weekdays at 3 p.m., right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Are you ready?
All right, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome in the Justin Kenner Show, Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM, 937-518-1410. That's the number to call or text to jump in on the conversation. We got a lot to touch on here today. You know, we talked a lot about the Browns and the Bengals coming out of the weekend when it came to the draft. It was quite a draft. It's been a great offseason for the Bengals, a great offseason for the Browns. It was a great draft for the Browns. It was an okay draft for the Bengals, but it was an outstanding draft for the Ohio State Buckeyes. A record-setting draft for Ohio State. I mean, that's pretty dang crazy when you think exactly. I mean, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, you know, they're the first ever pair of linebackers from the same school to both be selected in the first 10 picks of the same NFL draft. You know, Ohio State's been trying to bulk up linebackers in recent years, and for them to finally get back to that point where linebackers, like, they've always been known for their linebacker play. They went away from that for the longest time as the defense really softened up, you know, in the early 2020s, but they bulked back up. They win a national championship. You look at all the guys they're putting in the NFL. I mean, Ohio State with this draft became the first school ever with 3 defensive players selected in the first 11 picks of the draft. When you look at, you know, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, you know, there was, I mean, really, it was kind of a surprise. I mean, Caleb Downs only, you know, they did drop out of the top 10 technically. Yes, he did go number 11, but there were 4 Buckeyes expected to go in the top 10. They end up going in the top 11, but it doesn't matter. But, you know, you had Max Clare and, you know, a couple other Buckeyes, you know, they became the first pair of tight ends from Ohio State to be selected in the same NFL draft. Ohio State was the first school to have 2 tight ends selected in the same draft since Iowa's TJ Hawkinson and Noah Fant were both first-round picks back in 2019. So that's what's pretty remarkable there. And what's interesting about Ohio State having multiple tight ends taken in the draft is the tight end numbers. You look at the amount of Ohio State tight ends throughout the NFL right now. It is interesting. Those are key, you know, that's a key position for Ohio State where the numbers aren't gaudy. You know, you don't sit there and sit back and think, man, we just watched an all-time great Buckeye tight end. But that's just the talent that's coming into Columbus. That's the talent that's at the position. They don't lean into that position as much, but you're starting to see more and more Buckeye tight ends be sprinkled throughout the NFL draft, you know, nonetheless. I saw this. I thought this was interesting as well. Throughout the Ryan Day era, Ryan Day, you know, 4 different times throughout the Ryan Day era, Ohio State has had 10 or more players selected in a draft. All right, that 4 times since Ryan Day has become head coach and replaced Urban Meyer, there has been 4 different drafts where 10 or more Buckeyes were taken in that particular NFL draft. Nonetheless, Ohio State's draft with 4 or more first-round picks, that's happened 5 times. It happened in 1971, 2006, 16, 25, and 26. Alabama is the only other school with more, as they have 6. Ohio State has 5 drafts with 4 or more first-round picks. Alabama has 6. But Ohio State has put 4 or more Buckeyes in the first round in 2025 and 26 in back-to-back years. So there you go. But this draft, just a remarkable historic draft for Ohio State, up and down. And, I saw a lot of Buckeye fans, and not just Buckeye fans. I saw a lot of, Michigan fans. I saw a lot of Buckeye haters, out there and talk about the fact that, man, the fact that, Ryan Day's a bum because he had all that talent and couldn't win a national championship. Well, you're right. He did not win a national championship this year, but he has won a national championship. And it got me thinking, man, we all know how important that 2024 national championship was, but can you guys imagine if Ohio State did not win that national title in 24? What would the perception of Ryan Day be if he didn't? I mean, I still thought the amount of criticism that was thrown his way for how the season ended is kind of crazy. I'm not saying you're not allowed to be critical of Ryan Day. I thought that they looked flat against Indiana. Now, I say that, but Indiana might have just actually been the better team. I mean, I think that's really what happened. I mean, they're undefeated national champions. It's weird when you lose to Indiana. You want to just chalk it up to, we had an off day. I think Indiana truly probably was the better team, right? But you see all this talent that goes into the NFL, and it's like, well, how did you not win more national championships? I remember back when John Calipari was at Kentucky, from a college basketball perspective here, it would drive me nuts. I'm a John Calipari guy. I enjoyed watching, Kentucky during his stretch there. But, you don't realize it at the time you're watching Kentucky and the narrative of Kentucky basketball during the Calipari era. They're always one of the youngest, most talented teams in college basketball year in and year out. But when you talk about the youth of Kentucky basketball, that became the talking point. That became the narrative. It was almost a shield that surrounded the underachievement throughout the Calipari era. I know they won a national championship with Anthony Davis, but they continuously failed. They continuously were knocked out and upset early in NCAA tournaments. They continuously struggled in the NCAA tournament, and they ultimately left a lot of meat on the bone. I think that when you look at all the NBA talent, you look at all the players that Calipari put in the NBA, I think it's fair to look back at his tenure at Kentucky and say, how did you only win one national championship when you think of all the players? I mean, you turn on the NBA playoffs right now. Almost every roster has a John Calipari Kentucky Wildcat player on it. Across the board. He has so many players in the league, and yet how do you have so much talent in the NBA, but you look back at his time in Kentucky, and it's like he only had one national title to show for it. And I think that was a fair criticism and a fair narrative. Now, again, how they got away with it was, well, we could go the older route and get, less talented players and develop them to keep them around for, keep in mind the way college basketball was at that time, for 3 to 4 years. But if you were a Kentucky Wildcat player that reached year 3 or year 4, you probably weren't very good. And that's kind of how Ohio State football is. You recruit a player, redshirting guys is always fascinating to me if you're Ryan Day, unless you're really confident they're going to stick around. But this idea that, and I know college might be changing a bit to a 5-year eligibility rule, but I do find it interesting redshirting guys right now when, if you're Ohio State, more than not, you're putting the majority of your roster in the league. And if those guys aren't good enough to go into the league, they're probably not getting a lot of playing time, or they're probably going to transfer out, hit the portal, this, that, and the other. So I always get a kick out of that when I hear that they're going to redshirt certain guys. But regardless, I brought up that Kentucky comparison because I really do. I look back at this Ryan Day era, and I've always thought Ryan Day was receiving way too much criticism. I thought that he got distracted by all the people out there that were silly enough to fall for all of the propaganda of the only thing that matters is beating Michigan. The only thing that matters is beating Michigan. No, the only thing that matters is winning championships, national championships. I shared this story with you a while back, when Ryan Day, it was right after they had lost to Georgia in the playoffs a few years ago. And they lost by had they hit the field goal. They win, and they go on to probably bludgeon TCU in the national title game the way that Georgia bludgeoned TCU in the national title game. But when he was asked about which losses keep him up at night, he just kept saying, it's the Michigan loss, the Michigan loss. I said, no, that's moronic. You could be upset and sick to your stomach about the Michigan loss, but it needs to be that Georgia loss needs to be the motivating factor that drives your recruiting, that drives your game planning, that drives, how you approach building this roster and this program moving forward. Because you're going to run into Michigan every year, and you're going to, you have to beat Michigan, yes, but losing to Michigan doesn't ultimately keep you from accomplishing your goal. You didn't not win that national championship in 2023 because you lost to Georgia. You didn't win that national championship in 22 because you lost to Michigan. It's because you lost to Georgia. You didn't win that national championship that year because you lost to Georgia. You did not win a national championship that year because you lost to Michigan. So that was always my big takeaway. But championships, they've always been in position to compete for championships. He's taken them to multiple national championship games, Ryan Day has. But, man, when it's around the draft when you really start to see all the talent. Like, I sit back and I'm like, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, right? And then you look at Carnell Tate, and you look at some of them at Claire and some of the other players that were taken later. You look back throughout this, you see Jackson Smith and Jigba, the Marvin Harrison Jr.'s, the Emeka Ibukas, right? Obviously the Jeremiah Smiths of the world. Like, you see all this talent on this roster. And I feel good about the fact that a good chunk of them now at least can say they won a national championship with Ryan Day in Columbus, right? Jeremiah Smith will go in to the NFL, maybe a number 1 overall pick. I mean, it's going to be tough to pry that away from Arch Manning, but Jeremiah Smith is going to go down as probably the best Ohio State wide receiver of all time. He's going to go down as a national champion, a multi-time captain. I mean, he's going to check off so many boxes, and he will be the Ohio State Buckeyes' 100th draft pick in school history. How cool is that? 99 players have been selected in the NFL draft, and the next pick will be the 100th pick out of Columbus, and we all know who that next pick is going to be, Mr. Jeremiah Smith, nonetheless. But 937-518-1410. I sit back here and I started thinking, I'm reading all of these accomplishments, how historic this draft was for Ohio State. But can you imagine if they did not win that 2024 national championship? Would that have watered down these drafts? I feel like Calipari, the reason that his messaging at Kentucky grew stale, I know it's college basketball, but it was kind of similar to this. Ryan Day, on 4 different occasions since arriving in Columbus, has had drafts of 10 or more Buckeyes being selected. I mean, 40, just in those 4 drafts alone, Ryan Day has put 40 players into the NFL, right? Like that's insane to me. It's been back-to-back years where 10 or more Buckeyes have been selected. Over 20. Ryan Day has put 20-plus players in the NFL over the last 2 years. Thank goodness he won that national championship. Imagine if he didn't. Like I said, Kentucky, Calipari, I would always get annoyed on NBA draft night when they would it was Calipari standing up, hugging a player, because he put all these players in the league, but he only had 1 national championship to show for it. Hopefully Ryan Day gets another national title or 2. Nonetheless, definitely going to be in position with the return of Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith and others for this upcoming season. But 937-518-1410, you can call or text that number to jump in on the conversation. But if Ryan Day did not win that national championship in 2024, how would you be perceiving all of this talent that's going into the draft? Would it make Ryan Day look worse? How do we feel about Ryan Day today? Imagine if he did not win that national championship. That was such an important national championship for Ryan Day, but probably for the program, especially as they navigate through the ever-changing times of college football and college athletics as a whole. 937-518-1410, more of the Justin Kinner Show when we come back.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We plant trees because people need trees, and when planted in the right place, they have great impact. Trees help slow climate change, filter our air and water, foster biodiversity, and strengthen our communities. They create the kind of transformational change the world needs now. April is a month filled with opportunities to care for and plant trees. For planting resources, contact an Ohio ISA certified arborist who can help you learn how to take the best care of your trees. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Hey, Cordell Transportation is now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers, excellent paid benefits, and a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Apply right now, online at CordellTransportation.com. Do it right now. Driven to succeed.
It's spring, the season for gardening and outdoor fun. Mad River Mulch and Topsoil is here to help as the region's leading provider of mulch, rock, processed topsoil, sand, and compost. We specialize in your garden needs and home oasis. Did you know we have playground mulch to keep the kids safe this summer? Yes, and we offer delivery to your home or business. Call 937-882-6115 and we'll customize a delivery plan just for you. Mad River Mulch and Topsoil, just off I-70 and Route 4 in Springfield. Online at madrivermulch.com.
Evan Cohen here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app, share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required, not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Oak Cliff Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Something big is happening at Macy's. 60% off diamonds, 30 to 50% off the latest spring sandals and shoes, plus thousands more deals across the store. This is Macy's biggest spring sale, and these are some of the best deals of the season. The kind where you walk out wondering, how did I get all that? Really, don't sleep on this. Macy's biggest spring sale today. Savings off select prices. Exclusions apply.
Describing the delicious flavor of Lee's new famous wrap is tough, but we figured we'd give it a shot.
Imagine crispy, golden, fried to perfection chicken, drizzled with bold, peppery, beautifully balanced famous sauce, resting on a plush bed of succulent lettuce and sprinkled with cheese. It's like ordering delicious with a side of exquisite.
In other words, it's awesome. The famous wrap with new famous sauce. Only at Lee's. Famous for a reason.
KTH Parts Industries in St. Paris is now hiring and has increased the hourly wage to $22.48. That's right. KTH is looking for elite production associates, including press operators, overhead crane operators, and forklift operators. Apply today. KTH offers excellent benefits, including medical, dental, and 401k. KTH is a short drive from Bellefonte, Troy, Piqua, and Urbana. Upgrade your career and be valued by a company that really cares about you. Apply now at kth.net, an equal opportunity employer.
Thank you for calling Michigan Tech Support. For stolen signs, press 1. For mysteriously dropped headset communications, press 2. For a cheating scandal that Michigan hasn't been caught for yet, press 3. You know what? Please hold.
The Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, we are back. Justin Kinner, Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM, 937-518-1410, the number to call or jump in on the conversation. We are live on ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel, live on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page, as well as the Justin Kinner Show YouTube channel. So make sure you're following along on any of those. We appreciate those who do interact with us there. When you leave a comment in the chat, I'll pull your comment into the show and interact with you that way. We talked a lot yesterday about the draft for the Browns and the Bengals from their perspective, but man, it was a historic weekend, a huge weekend for the Buckeyes. And it just got me thinking, you think about all the success that the Buckeyes just had with this draft, all the Buckeyes that they put in this draft, 4 Ohio State players taken in the first round, 4 Ohio State Buckeyes taken with the first 11 picks. And it was a surprise that Caleb Downs dropped out of the top 10. Now he only fell to number 11. It wasn't like a huge drop. But the fact that, I started thinking, I'm like, man, can you imagine if Ohio State did not have a national championship to show for Caleb Downs, for Jeremiah Smith, who's still obviously in Columbus, but like Carnell Tate, like a lot of these guys, all these guys won national championships, won a national championship. But is that enough? It's tough to win a national championship. You think of, Ryan Day is still not viewed at. Ryan Day is going to have a very good chance to do something that the last 2 head coaches of Ohio State didn't do. And the last 2 head coaches of Ohio State, I feel like, are perceived to be legends in Columbus. If Ryan Day left Ohio State right now, he's won a national championship. Would you consider Ryan Day a legend in Columbus? You know what I mean? Like Ryan Day, at Ohio State at this point, do you consider him a legend in Ohio State for Ohio State football? He's 82-11. He's won a national championship. He's put so many players in the NFL, right? You look at the dominant run that Ohio State has had since he's taken over. Also, we've seen the peaks and the valleys. We've seen the valleys of, 4 straight losses to Michigan. There's been a lot. I think that's like the asterisk on the record. I think that's what's tough. Urban never lost to Michigan. Tressel lost to Michigan, but won more times than not, obviously. So I guess the question I have is Ryan Day a legend in your eyes already in Columbus? He's coached here for so long already, about as long as Urban Meyer did. But he's going to have a chance to do something that the previous 2 head coaches did not do, and that's win multiple national championships. I mean, he's already been to multiple national championships. Now, Tressel went to multiple national titles games. As far as that's concerned, I'm sorry, Tressel won 1 national championship. Urban won 1 national championship. They never made it to multiple. Ryan Day made it in 2020. Got blown out against Alabama. Has been to multiple playoffs throughout the 14 playoff era. Obviously, has made both the 12-team playoff formats and got beat by, got knocked out of the first round by Miami last year, and obviously won it all the year before. But I threw this out there earlier. Imagine if Ohio State did not win a national championship. 11 Warriors did a good job of just kind of, the NFL draft by the numbers for Ohio State. And one of the little one of the parts of one of their blog pieces they put out was the numbers to know, right? Number 14, that's the number of times Ohio State has had that is the number of times that Ohio State has had the most first-round picks of any school. No other school has had the most first-round picks more than 12 times. Alabama, Notre Dame, and USC. Right? We talked about it earlier. During the Ryan Day era, 4 times Ohio State's drafts with 10 or more draft picks under Ryan Day. I mean, just in those 4 drafts alone, 40 players put in the NFL by Ryan Day. So, like I said, all this talent that has been put in the league by Ryan Day in Ohio State. Imagine if they didn't win that national championship. And let me ask you this. I'm sitting here saying, thank goodness they won that national championship. They have something to show for all that talent. Has Ryan Day, has he underachieved at Ohio State? When you think about all the dominance that they've had in the draft, especially during the Ryan Day era, have they underachieved? Have they achieved just the right amount? Underachieved? I definitely don't think they've underachieved. I don't even think, I don't think they've overachieved by any means. Underachieved or achieved just about right? Like, you're not going to win every single season. More times than not, you're going to lose. You're not going to win a national championship every year. But I am kind of curious people's thoughts on this because, man, I'm looking at the names of the guys that are in the league and how many of these guys played together. And I'm like, how have they only won 1 national championship? But I'm happy with that 1 national championship. I would like more, and I think he's going to get more, talking about Ryan Day. Ryan Day, was quoted last week as saying that, we expect to win every game. Does it always happen? No. Does everybody become a first or second rounder? No, but the mindset is that way, and that's been here for a long time, even going back before his time throughout the history of the Buckeye program. Ohio State's all-time total of first-round picks, the most of any school, and it positions Jeremiah Smith or Julian Sayin to become Ohio State's 100th all-time first-round pick in next year's NFL draft. Now, a lot of people, because you have Arch Manning, the top quarterback, perceived to be the top quarterback heading into next year's draft, of course, going number 1 overall. You've probably already seen it, the way too early 2027 mock drafts. Arch Manning will be the first quarterback taken off the board. But earlier, I said that 100th draft pick would be Jeremiah Smith. But, if Julian Sayin has a major year coming up, and he was very, very good last year, but I think he kind of peaked a little bit. I think he kind of there was a point where he just stopped getting better. Like we saw all of a sudden he started getting better and better, and then he kind of peaked a bit. But he was way better to close out the year than what he was to start the season. But he kind of disappeared in some of those big games. He disappeared, of course, against Miami. He disappeared against Indiana. He didn't make the plays that were necessary. And it's hard to feel bad for Julian Sayin because, you have the run game. You have the O-line can use some work, yes. But, man, those weapons on the outside, you had Carnell Tate, who was the first receiver taken off the board in this year's draft. And you have Jeremiah Smith, who will be the first receiver taken off the board next year's draft. So, nonetheless, but if Julian Sayin takes that next big step and opens it up, he could be the 100th first-round pick in Ohio State Buckeyes history when it's all said and done. But either way, Ron Howard, he's in the chat. He says, look at Notre Dame. They flood the league with players, and look at the drought of national championships. Yeah, Notre Dame, that's my point. That's why I think that the fact that Ohio State has one national championship to at least show during the Ryan Day era, I don't think that he's underachieved. I guess I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. Here's how I'll kind of phrase the Ryan Day era. I think they've achieved the proper amount, the realistic amount, but I think they could have won more. But I don't think he's underachieved. Again, that probably makes no damn sense. I'm paid to make sense, and I've never made sense, so that's why I get paid what I do. But the bottom line is I don't think Ryan Day's underachieved in Columbus. The 4-game losing streak to Michigan should have never happened. I get that. But I do think winning a national championship, putting a ton of guys in the league, getting to the playoffs consistently, I think that matters, just as much, if not more at times. And I think that's key. I'm looking at Alabama football since, Nick Saban left. Urban Meyer left Columbus, and I'm not saying that it hasn't mattered, but let's be clear. The only thing that Ohio State has been impacted by since losing Urban Meyer is the rivalry game. Outside of that, they're putting just as many, if not more, players in the league. Outside of that, their winning percentage since Urban left has actually been higher. Outside of that, they've won they have the same amount of national championships post Urban Meyer as they had with Urban Meyer. The only thing that Ohio State has been impacted by since Urban Meyer departed is the Michigan rivalry. They've lost momentum. They've lost their grip on the Michigan dominance, of course. But outside of that, Ryan Day's won more consistently. Ryan Day's been to the playoffs more. Ryan Day has a national championship. Ryan Day has more wins against the SEC. Ryan Day has done a better job, you can argue, has done a better job at Ohio State than Urban Meyer outside of the Michigan rivalry. And that's a big deal in Columbus. I get that. But, man, if Ryan Day wins another national championship, I'm really curious what Buckeye fans, what their perception of Ryan Day would be, or what it will be. Because I still think if I put Jim Tressel, Urban Meyer, Ryan Day's name on a list, and I said, rank, these from best to worst, I still think all of you are putting Ryan Day at the bottom. And that's understandable. But what happens if he wins a second one? The reason I ask that is because I actually think that you guys would still put him at the bottom of your list when it's all said and done. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio, 937-518-1410. Have the Buckeyes underachieved when you look at all the talent that the Buckeyes have put in the NFL over the years, especially throughout the Ryan Day era? I mean, that stat blew me away. 4 different times throughout the Ryan Day era, Ohio State has put 10 or more players in the NFL. 4 different NFL drafts, 10 or more Buckeyes have been selected. Just in those drafts alone, Ryan Day's put over 40-plus players in the NFL. Now, they won it in 2024. But should they have won more? Has he underachieved? Has Ryan Day underachieved as head coach for the Buckeyes? 937-518-1410. We're going to switch gears and talk Reds when we come back. Reds off day yesterday. They're back at it. 3 more games left in the month of April, and it has been the most dominant April in over a decade in Cincinnati. Can they keep it going? Can they close out the month of April on a high note? They kick off a series with the Rockies tonight at Great American Ballpark. We'll talk about that and more when we come back. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Consider a better commute to work. Driving alone could cost you thousands a year in parking and gas, not to mention the stress of traffic congestion. Whether you want to carpool, vanpool, take the bus, or ride your bike, GoHio Commute's online platform can help you explore options to get around the Miami Valley region. Log your eligible trips on GoHio Commute to unlock rewards. Commute smarter. Visit MiamiValleyRideshare.org or call 937-223-SAVE to explore commute options.
Planning to buy a home in 2026? Not sure where to start? The Ohio Housing Finance Agency can help. With a step-by-step homebuyer's guide and financial tools, the Ohio Housing Finance Agency can make homeownership part of your future. Eligible homebuyers may qualify for down payment assistance and reduced mortgage interest rates. To see if you qualify and to find a mortgage lender, visit myohiohome.org.
Save big money on your next painting project at Menards. Do you have a painting job that requires crisp, clean lines? Look no further than Frog Tape. Their premium grade painter's tape includes paint block technology that seals edges for sharp paint lines. Get your paint project started today and pick up a roll of multi-surface Frog Tape on sale now through May 3rd. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals.
Save big money at Menards.
Oh, my house needs some help. It needs a new roof, new windows, and siding if I can afford it. I just don't know who to call. Your house is updated and looks so nice. Who does your work?
Buckeye Home Services does all my work. Their prices are affordable and they do a great job. Call 586-6600 for a free estimate. Buckeye does roofing, siding, gutters, leaf guards, windows, doors, patio covers, even kitchens and baths.
Sounds like they're the ones to call. What's that number again?
Buckeye Home Services, 586-6600.
Raise your hand if you're excited about feeling older faster than you should. No takers? Yeah, didn't think so. Ongoing pain makes you feel older than you are. But here's the good news. QC Kinetic patients here in Dayton are getting relief, feeling younger, jumping back into life full speed, and it didn't happen in an operating room. The QC Kinetic medical professionals use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science, treatments that take the tiny, powerful healing tools inside your body, concentrate them right where you need relief. That's how Mike is training for a marathon instead of giving up running. Patrick's golf game is on fire again. Kathy walked around Disney with her grandkids. No pain. All real QC Kinetic patients. The sooner you start treatment, the sooner inflammation eases and the sooner joint damage slows down. Because no one signs up for feeling older faster. Find out if you're a candidate for QC Kinetic regenerative treatments. Your visit and consultation is free. 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325.
Swing by Frickers this week and treat yourself to one of our unbeatable lunch combos. Choose from your favorites, like the Big Frickin' BLT, cheeseburger, frickin' chicken wrap, and more. Each with a side and drink for just $10.99. Plus, use the Frickers app and score double points on lunch for a limited time. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Whether you dine in or grab it to go, lunch just got a whole lot tastier and more rewarding. At your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Progressive knows that for business owners, vacations hit different.
But hey, at least you finally took a vacation. And look at that. You only answered 53 calls, 84 emails, onboarded 1 new hire, and covered for Chris while he's out on paternity leave, and you did it all from a kayak. Because you, my friend, know how to relax. All right, you may not know how to take a day off, but you do know both your personal and business auto insurance needs can be covered in one place with Progressive. So at least that's relaxing, right? Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Free your team from time-consuming procurement tasks. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic, the delicious daily detox that will keep you feeling your best. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon or pick up some at your local CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Spring is the perfect time to beautify your home or business with locally grown plants from A. Brown & Sons Nursery. Check out Brown's Nursery for everyday low prices on thousands of healthy and colorful high-quality shade trees, evergreens, flowering trees, and bushes, perennials, and ornamental grasses. Brown's grows landscape-size hydrangeas, lilacs, butterfly bush, red buds, flowering crabs, magnolias, wisteria, wigula, spirea, forsythia, dogwood, fruit trees, and then there's western red cedar, arborvitae, boxwood, taxus, juniper, pines, and spruce. They have elms and tulip trees, sweet gums and oaks, black gum and hornbeams, willows and honey locusts, 30-plus varieties of maple, and so much more. Come see them at Brown's Nursery this weekend, Friday and Saturday 8 to 5, Sunday noon to 5. Landscape installation and landscape design are available too, just 4 miles off of I-70, exit 24 on Route 49. They're easy to find and so worth the trip. Make your corner of the world a whole lot greener with Brown's Nursery.
All right, everybody, we are back. It's the Justin Kinner Show, Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM, 937-518-1410. It's the number to call or text to jump in on the combo. Talking, of course, about the Buckeyes. 4 players taken in the first 11 picks of the first round. And, you know, it's fascinating. Ryan Day has been here for, 7 years now? 7 years as head coach of the Buckeyes. In 4 of those 7 years, Ryan Day and the Buckeyes have put 10 or more players into the NFL. No other team has done that. Since Ryan Day has taken over the Buckeyes, no other team in college football has put in more, has had more drafts of double-digit players sent to the NFL. It's kind of crazy at the end of the day. And, you know, when I think about all the NFL talent that Ryan Day and Ohio State has had over the years, it's like, man, it's a good thing they won that title in 24, because can you imagine putting all those players in the league, getting hyped up like this every year about all the success that the Buckeyes have in the draft and not having a national title to show for it in the last 7 years? You know, I think that would be a humongous asterisk on the resume of Ryan Day. But 7 years, multiple national title appearances, you know, obviously 4 playoff appearances, and a national championship to show for it. I just can't imagine what the perception of Ryan Day. And like I said earlier, I just think even with him winning a national title, I still don't think Buckeye fans truly respect him as much as they should. You know, Jim Tressel only won 1 national championship, and he's a legend. Urban Meyer only won 1 national championship in Columbus. He's a legend. I still feel like even with the 1 national championship by Ryan Day, the jury's still out. And a lot of you say it's because of the Michigan rivalry. I still feel like there's a disconnect. Maybe I'm wrong. Is there anyone else out there that feels like there's a disconnect between Ryan Day and Buckeye fans? And I'm not saying that no Buckeye fans like him. That's definitely not what I'm saying. I like Ryan Day. I don't feel like when I hear people talk about Ryan Day, I just don't get the vibes that you guys view him in the same light of Jim Tressel and Urban Meyer. as far as that's concerned. Ann Anderson, she's live in the Justin Kinder Show Facebook page. She says she's been away for a few days, but she says Ryan Day is just perfect. Granted, he could win more against the team up north, but he has won a championship, and no one can argue about the NFL players. And let's face it, that is the ultimate goal of any player. And, whether you're a wide receiver, now a linebacker, I mean, hell, tight end. Ryan Day and the Buckeyes are putting tight end. They don't even really utilize their tight ends, at the highest of usage rates, right? And they still put multiple tight ends. There's multiple Buckeye tight ends, sprinkled throughout the NFL. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But yeah, I just think it's one of those that I'm really curious to see if Ryan Day wins another national championship, if your perception of him changes. If Ryan Day wins another national championship, would you put him above Urban Meyer? If Ryan Day wins another national championship, would you rank him above? Would you rank him above Jim Tressel? Which is crazy. I love Jim Tressel. If I had to, it's funny. I guess I got to put my feet to the fire. If I had to rank the head coaches since Jim Tressel, since the 2000s, I would rank, I guess, just off vibes alone. I mean, I think Urban Meyer was the most dominant head coach. Since 2000, Jim Tressel, I think, was the most consistent. I think that's fair. I think Urban Meyer is the most dominant head coach of the three. I think that Jim Tressel is the most consistent head coach of the three. And I feel like Ryan Day does a lot of what both of them do, but we just don't view him the same. I say, I'm a hypocrite a little bit because I said Urban's the most dominant head coach of the three, but Ryan Day has a higher winning percentage. He has the same amount of national titles as Urban Meyer. He's put more players in the NFL than Urban Meyer. His recruiting classes are stronger than Urban Meyer's. Like I'm talking myself through this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I would go Urban Meyer, Jim Tressel, Ryan Day, but it's tough for me to put Ryan Day above either of those two, but I think that's the love that we have for both Urban Meyer and Jim Tressel. It's tough to put Ryan Day above there. I'm just curious to see what ultimately happens when it's all said and done. If he is capable of winning a second national championship, what that would mean for the perception nonetheless. I want to switch gears over to the Reds. The Cincinnati Reds, and we got some Bengals stuff too we'll get into around the corner. But the Reds are back at it tonight. They are going to have Chase Burns on the mound as they start a series with the Rockies. All right. The Reds and Rockies will get underway coming up here later on tonight. The Reds are in first place, sitting atop the NL Central. And the Reds taking 2 of 3 from the Tigers at home. They now start a 3-game series with the Rockies at Great American Ballpark. This is before the Reds go on a little bit of a decent length road trip. They have game 1 tonight, game 2 tomorrow night, and then they'll close out the series against the Rockies on Thursday afternoon on 12:40. Now, Chase Burns on the mound tonight, Williamson on the mound tomorrow night, and then Andrew Abbott will close out the series against Colorado. And then the Reds will hit the road where it'll be 7 straight road games against the NL Central. The Reds have only played 1 game against the NL Central thus far, dropping 2 of 3 against the Pittsburgh Pirates in their 3rd series of the season. But they will be at Pittsburgh for 3 and then at Chicago. They'll take on the Cubs for the first time. It's kind of crazy. The Reds are about to be 1 month into the season and only have 3 NL Central games under their belt. But that's going to change, obviously, in the month of May because they're going to have 3 against Pittsburgh, 4 against the Cubs. They'll have 3 against the Cardinals in that time span as well. So, but they're going to, I mean, at that point, they'll still have St. Louis in a lot of series with these teams moving forward. But to go through the first month of the season with only 3 games against the Central and for them to be as dominant as they have been, I started thinking, I'm like, man, the Reds, obviously they're off to a hot start. And I still feel like there's a lot of you Reds fans out there that are nitpicking this team a lot. You guys are acting, I find Reds fans to be kind of interesting right now. The Reds are sitting atop the NL Central right now. The Reds are 18-10. Now, this is, and I just went back to 2015. But in the last 10 years, or going back to 2015, this is the most dominant start to a season the Reds have had in over 10 plus years. In 2015, the Reds were 11-11. That was a good start. They weren't buried, right? A lot of times the Reds, the season's over before it starts. You know, they were 9-15-16, 11-13-17, 7-22 in 2018, 12-17-19. You had your COVID year in 20. 12-13 in 2021. And, you know, from 15 to 21, it was a lot of that. A game or two under 500, right at 500. You know, they weren't the worst team in baseball, weren't even close to being the most average team in baseball. They were just win some, lose some. Then they hit rock bottom in 22, 3-18 in 2022, 12-16 in 23. They were actually above 500 for the first time in 10 plus years in 2024. And yeah, this charts off a little. It says 25. It's 26. You guys get the point, though. But the bottom line is, as we sit here right now, the Cincinnati Reds 18-10. They were 16-14 last year. It's the best start for the Reds in the last 10 plus years as we currently sit here right now. And I'm amazed at how many people are still nitpicking this team. I don't trust this team. I don't trust. This team is the best team that the Reds have had in 10 plus years. You know, not every team is going to be the Dodgers. Yeah, but the Reds don't do this well. They're not going to do everything well. And even if the thing that you're complaining about of them not doing well, and let's say they did that well, they probably wouldn't do something else well. This team is one of the best pitching staffs. It has one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball. They have one of the best rotations, even without their top two starters. No Nick Lodolo, who we got to see in Dayton recently. No Nick Lodolo, no Hunter Green. Still have one of the best rotations in baseball, and you're without your top two starters. The Reds they leaned heavily into the bullpen in the offseason, revamping that entire bullpen while keeping a lot of the main key contributors in that pen from a year ago, and it's paying dividends already. This team has won a lot of games because of their pitching, and there's been recent games where the pitching hasn't been great, but then the offense comes to life, like we saw in that come-from-behind win in Game 1 in the Reds series win against Detroit. They've been just dangerous enough offensively. They've done just enough offensively to complement the elite pitching. Yeah, but they don't do this well. I saw Shaw the other day. Shaw, I hope you're well. Shaw was complaining because the Reds have gone a couple weeks where the starters haven't been able to make it out of the sixth inning. And I don't even think that's a real complaint anymore. The average distance that the starting pitcher goes into a ball game now is about 5 2/3 innings. I mean, pitchers don't go the long. And if I had it my way, they would go 7. I miss the old days of your starter going 7, hand it off to your middle relief pitcher, set it up for your closer, and go home. I miss those days of baseball, but that doesn't exist anymore. So, you know, of the things you should complain about this team, that's not even one of them. That's not even one of them. So this team's not perfect. This team's not perfect, not by a long shot. This team has some flaws, no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, the Cincinnati Reds are off to the best start in over 10 plus years. And we still have Reds fans who are complaining and trying to kind of damper what they have done at this point. And what they have done is technically nothing. They haven't won anything. You're not winning a division. They're not winning. You're not gonna win the division in April. But my goodness, how many times have we seen this team lose the division in April? How many times have we seen this team just totally lose all of our interest in April, right? We've given up on this team by the end of the first month of the season many, many times, you know? And to give you a little bit more perspective right here, you look at the National League standings, okay? The Cincinnati Reds, there's only 3 teams in the National League with a better record than the Reds. The Atlanta Braves, who are World Series contenders year in and year out when they're not injured. The Dodgers, who are the Ohio State Buckeyes, Alabama, they are the dynasty now. They are the modern dynasty in sports, right? Like the Dodgers are 20-9 as well as are the Braves, and the Padres, one of the biggest spending teams in baseball, are 19-9. All 3 of those teams significantly spend way more than the Cincinnati Reds, and they all are only a game and a half better than the Reds in all of that. The Reds are 18-10. It's the most dominant start to the season that we have seen, and they're winning close games. They're winning 1-2-run games. They're winning come-from-behind games now. They're winning low-scoring games, high-scoring games. The Reds are doing it all in the month of April. There's 3 games left. All right, obviously that things can go awry against this Rockies team, and we can have a different conversation. I'm probably putting the curse of the curse of the Kenner on them right now just by being overly confident. I don't think this team's winning a World Series. All right, I'm not guaranteeing that they win this division, but I damn sure think that this team is good enough to win the division. If you look at the Reds' strength, if you look at what they do well pitching, the Cubs' strength is not stronger than the Reds' strength. The Cardinals' strength, not better than the Reds' strength. Same thing with Milwaukee. Milwaukee has a hell of a pitching staff. It's not better than the Reds, and the Reds don't even have their top 2 starters. I don't understand the negativity. You don't have to start preparing for a World Series parade or anything like that, but enjoy the moment. I mean, like I said, I know I put the wrong years on these. My apologies, but it's all over the last 10 years. Take a look at this. The Reds, 18-10. I mean, we're talking about for years now. It's been 11-11 to 11-13, 12-17, 12-16. Hell, you had an 18. You were 7-22 and 3-18 in the year of 22. And yet here we are bitching and complaining because at 18-10 with only 3 teams in the National League better than the Reds, well, they don't do this well. They don't do that well. This team, no team's perfect. The Dodgers last year, as dominant as the Dodgers were last year, the Dodgers had one of the worst bullpens in baseball. As dominant as the Dodgers are, as elite as the Dodgers are, with all the star power, with all the spending, big city, bright lights, all of that, they still had flaws. You will always have a flaw. You will not be perfect. So I think this idea of, I'm not going to get excited yet because the Reds they still are inconsistent offensively. Yeah. They've been inconsistent offensively all month, and they're 18-10, and only 3 teams have a better record than them, and only a game and a half separates the Dodgers and the Reds at this point. Are the Reds better than the Dodgers? Are they as good as the Dodgers? Their pitching sure as hell is. And the Dodgers spent way more on their pitching than the Reds. In fact, I'm always going to take the Reds side because the Reds, outside of Brady Singer, all homegrown. From Hunter Green to Nick Lodolo to Andrew Abbott to Chase Burns to Rhett Lauder. I think what the Reds have done, if you ask me, if we're just basing it off of what we know now, 1 month into the season, look at all of the money. There's 2 different ways to get to where the Reds and Dodgers are right now, and the Dodgers are a game and a half better than the Reds. There's 2 different ways to get to this point right now. There is spend and spend and spend and spend and spend, which I would wish the Reds would spend a little more, yes. But the Dodgers have outspent the Reds by 3 billion%. The Reds don't spend nearly enough in all of our eyes, and yet here we are off to about the same start to the season. Some of you fans are just miserable. I don't understand it. Let's go to Jody. Jody Van Winkle on Facebook says, my complaint was always with the front office, whether they didn't add at the trade deadline or no significant offseason signings. And this offseason was above my expectations, and it looks really good. And Jody, thank you. Because a lot of people didn't think they were underwhelmed by the Reds offseason. And I said, you got to understand, even if the Reds didn't add Eugenio Suarez, the Reds had a massive offseason. You know why the Reds are 18-10, sitting atop their division and right there with the top teams in baseball like the Dodgers, Braves, and others? You know why? It's because of what the Reds did in the offseason. The Reds went and spent all of their available dollars up until Suarez. They put all of their money into that bullpen. That bullpen has been so damn good. It's what has allowed them to be without their top 2 starters, because it's closed the gap there. And imagine how much better that bullpen is going to be when you get 2 guys back in the rotation that are going to eat up more innings in a game, and you're not going to wear them down as much. I think that the Reds front office, they're easy punching bags, they're easy targets, but I think they did their job, and I think they did it correctly. So, Jody, I agree with you. There are times where I'm mad at the Reds front office. I feel like they could do more. And I still felt they should have done more this past offseason. I still don't think you're going to – the Reds, they will never have a Hall of Fame manager with a full homegrown pitching staff that's the top in baseball, with the generational Elly De La Cruz. And now we find out that they have 2 generational talents with Elly and now Sal Stewart. You're not in that position ever. So I still feel like they should do more in the offseason. But just because I feel like they should do more should not take away from what they did. And we're only 1 month into the season. It's a long season. You still have all of May, June, July, August, September, and hopefully more than just 2 days in October. Man, but 18-10. I'll take it. I'll take it. I mean, this is a team that has won 6 series. They've split 2 4-game series. They've yet to get swept. If you remember last year, the Reds were the last team in baseball, months and months into the season. They were the last team in baseball to get swept. You don't dominate this Reds team. They're too good. You're not going to dominate them. Now, remember this. On this day, so you're not going to sweep the Reds. They're too dominant. If the Rockies sweep the Reds, clip this, and I'll take a year vacation. How about that? But nonetheless, it's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio.
If you need new roofing, siding or gutters, skylights or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. See Lance Roofing and Siding at their new location at 6903 Dayton Springfield Road in Enon. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722. Online at lanceroofing.com.
Swing by Frickers this week and treat yourself to one of our unbeatable lunch combos. Choose from your favorites, like the Big Frickin' BLT, cheeseburger, frickin' chicken wrap, and more. Each with a side and drink for just $10.99. Plus, use the Frickers app and score double points on lunch for a limited time. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Whether you dine in or grab it to go, lunch just got a whole lot tastier and more rewarding. At your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Mom deserves more than flowers and a card. Enter to win the JTV Mother's Day Getaway at jtv.com/sweepstakes. You could win a 6-night cruise to Grand Cayman, Mexico, and the Bahamas, plus $1,000 spending money and a $1,000 gift card to shop JTV. It's a mom's dream come true. Enter the JTV Mother's Day Getaway now at jtv.com/sweepstakes. And new customers receive a one-time $25 off of a purchase of $50 or more.
Some days, self-care starts with Nature Made gummy vitamins, a deep breath, and a little encouragement.
Mom, I'm really nervous.
Me too, honey, but we've got this. Repeat after me. I'm going to have a good day.
I'm going to have a good day.
I choose joy no matter what comes my way.
I bring joy wherever I go.
Quality gummy vitamins from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55-plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Well, the forecast, mostly cloudy. Showers are likely, a low of 54 tonight. Showers and 64 tomorrow. Thursday, sunny and 61. I'm Rick Shrimp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hello, this is Michael, and I wish to welcome you to Dave Arbogast Buick GMC service, located at exit 69 on I-75 in Troy, Ohio. Please join us between April 1st and May 30th to save big during our buy 3, get 1 for $1 tire sale. New GM credit card holders may combine this offer to receive an additional $250 off on their first purchase over $500. Please visit us at davearbogast.com or call 937-980-0569 to speak with a certified service expert and schedule your appointment today.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history.
If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 2689 Commons, Dayton.
Oh, my house needs some help. It needs a new roof, new windows, and siding if I can afford it. I just don't know who to call. Your house is updated and looks so nice. Who does your work?
Buckeye Home Services does all my work. Their prices are affordable and they do a great job. Call 586-6600 for a free estimate. Buckeye does roofing, siding, gutters, leaf guards, windows, doors, patio covers, even kitchens and baths.
Sounds like they're the ones to call. What's that number again?
Buckeye Home Services, 586-6600.
Here he comes. Surprise! The people above your catering business are doing major construction, and the drilling is only during business hours. It's so loud.
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money, getting personalized discounts on a commercial auto quote with Progressive.
Also, that isn't powdered sugar on the floor. It's plaster from your ceiling.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic, the delicious daily detox that will keep you feeling your best. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon or pick up some at your local CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
When the dollar's convertibility into gold ended in 1971, gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. Fast forward to today, and the U.S. dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold has increased in value by over 12,000%. Central banks are buying gold at record levels. Major firms are holding significant positions in gold. And I choose to buy gold from Birch Gold Group. Stan Bongino, and it all starts with education. Birch Gold just announced their Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. This free online event rewards you for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. Sign up to get free silver on your next purchase if you qualify. And you can get even larger incentives as you go. The more you learn, the more you can earn. But act now. This special event only runs through April 30th. So text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event by April 30th. Text Dan to 989898 today. Message and data rates may apply.
Save $10 on a pair of Bosch Focus wiper blades. Our professional parts people will even install them for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
CenterPoint Energy, Columbia Gas, Duke Energy, and Enbridge Gas want you to dig safely. It's easy to do, and it's the law. Contact Ohio 811 every time you dig.
The Reds spend money the way Kinner eats salads. Rarely and reluctantly. The Justin Kinner Show. Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody. It is 4:05, hour number 2. We are back and rolling here. Reds back in action tonight. Chase Burns is going to be on the mound for the Reds as they had an off day yesterday. But the Reds have been rolling, winning. I mean, the last series they lost was against the Angels back in early April. Since dropping 2-3 against the Angels, they've taken 2-3 from the Giants, 2-3. They 2-3 from the Giants. They swept the Twins, 2-3 from the Rays, and 2-3 from the Tigers. And they look to continue their series win streak with the series that gets underway tonight against the Rockies. 6:40 the first pitch. 6:10 we'll have coverage for you right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. And that game, of course, at Great American Ballpark. The Reds will close out the month of April with 3 games. Tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday afternoon against the Rockies. They will kick off the month of May against Pittsburgh coming up on Friday evening, nonetheless. So I bring all this up. We were talking in the last part of the show. I just said, man, I'm laughing at, every time I try to talk Reds or I'm talking Reds with friends or just I run into listeners out and about and we start talking Reds, I always get a kick out of the negativity right away. And like the negativity is reality as well. Like the things that people are concerned about this team, those are real issues. Yes. But it's not as if like the Reds are like in previous seasons that, we took a look at the graphic a little bit ago, in recent seasons, we've seen 11-11 at the end of April, 9-15, 12-13, 12-17, 16-14, 16-14. I would be happy with 16-14. Don't get me wrong, but 18-10, this is a team that is head and shoulders better than any Reds team that we've seen over the last 10 years. Deficiencies and all. This team leaned in like they needed to revamp the bullpen, and they didn't just add a bullpen arm or two. They brought in 4 new arms in that bullpen, right? They added a couple of bats. They bring in, Eugenio Suarez, but honestly, it has been all about the pitching. And they've done it without their top 2 starters. That's what's fascinating to me. Like if you would have told me that when the season started, they'd be without Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo for at least the first month of the season. Lodolo, obviously making a couple rehab starts, and we hopefully will see him. Probably I would assume that series against Pittsburgh. I'd be circling that Pirates series. Now maybe there's an update out there of when the Reds expect him back. I just haven't come across it yet, so my bad if that's out there. But I just. Oh, man, well, the Red starters are struggling at times. Well, okay. The Dodgers, they've lost 9 games. The Reds have lost 10. I'm pretty sure there's some flaws with the Dodgers that have led to those 9 losses, just like the flaws that have led to the 10 losses for the Reds. So the bottom line is, at no point will the Reds ever be perfect. If they start hitting better, we'll start nitpicking some other aspects of the game, right? Well, they'll never be perfect. The Dodgers right now are probably, unless I'm mistaking something, are they the only dynasty in sports right now? I think the Chiefs dynasty kind of closed out last year. I'm not saying they can't bounce back, but right now the Dodgers are the only active dynasty in sports. I think OKC in the NBA has all the tools to embark on a dynasty type run. I think the Spurs have what it takes to start another dynasty in the 2020s here in the NBA. But the Warriors dynasty is dead. The Yankees haven't won a World Series in a decade plus, so they're not a dynasty. Like the Cowboys haven't been back to a Super Bowl in 30 plus years, so they're not a dynasty. Like these dynasties don't exist anymore. The Dodgers are the only dynasty in all of sports right now, and yet they have flaws. So spare me I'm not going to get excited about the Reds 18-10 start because there's just some things I don't like about this team. There's some things about the Dodgers I don't like. And the Reds aren't the Dodgers. I get it. But you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. This Reds team's not going to be perfect. But damn, 18-10. If I would have told you back in March that the Reds would be sitting at, let's say they win this series, the Reds could have 20 wins to kick off May. That's pretty fascinating to me as far as that's concerned. I want to see last year when the Reds, a hot start last year, a good start last year. But I'm curious when the Reds picked up their 20th win last year. The Reds didn't pick up their 20th win until May 10th. The Reds would have a 10-day jump start on that. If you go back to 2024, the Reds didn't pick up their 20th win of the season. They didn't pick up their 20th win of the season until May 21st. They were 20-28 on May 21st. And the Reds, if they take 2 or 3 from the Rockies this week, they'll be sitting at 20 wins heading into the month of May. Hell, let's go back to 2023. That was a horrific year for the Reds. Let's go back to 2023. That was an okay year. My apologies. 2022 was the down year. But let's go back to 2023. The Reds didn't win their 20th game of the season until May 22nd. Very similar to 2024, right? All right, let's just keep on going back, right? I mean, I'm going season by season here. The Reds, 20th win of the season for the Reds, okay, back in 2022. That didn't come until June 7th. 3 years ago, the Reds didn't win their 20th game until June 7th. 2 years ago, the Reds didn't win their 20th game of the season until May 20th. Last year, the Reds didn't win their 20th game of the season until May 10th. And if the Reds continue the series winning streak against the Rockies, which they should, that means they would be sitting at 20 wins heading into May. They would be sitting at 20 wins to close out the month of April. Oh, but I don't like the way their pitchers haven't made it out of the sixth inning or the fifth inning and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I mean, I care. I just don't care. There's going to be things about this team that I don't like. I don't like how inconsistent the offense is. All right. I don't like that Matt McClain at times can make you feel like, okay, he's got it, and then disappear on you again. I can't stand that Ke'Bryan Hayes is the best defensive third baseman in all of baseball, but has been a joke offensively, although he's had some, much bigger hits over the last, couple of weeks. I get it. So, it is what it is at this point. But Damon Hahn, shout out to Damon's in the chat. Damon Hahn says, I love the Red start. I need TJ Friedl, Matt McClain, and Stevenson to step up or get out of the way, though. Oh, I'm with you. I'm not here waving the flag saying that this is a perfect team. They're not. For those who are saying, I don't like this team because of this, this, and this, I agree with your concerns. I don't agree with your attitude. Like I said, the fact that when you really kind of sit back and look at what this team is doing right now, I mean, my goodness, only 3 teams in the National League have a better record than the Reds, and it's not even like a better record. The Reds are 18-10. The Braves are 20-9. That's a game and a half, and the Braves and Dodgers are tied for the best record in the National League at 20-9. And that's a game and a half better than the Reds at 18-10. So the Padres are 19-9, and all 3 of those teams spend a couple pennies more per year than the Reds. Let's just put it that way. But nonetheless, as far as how the Reds, they're sitting in first place in the division in the Central. The Cubs are, the Reds 18-10, Cubs are 17-12. Now, the Cubs and Reds last Friday, we started the weekend with the Reds and the Cubs tied with the best record in the Central at 16-8. Or 16-9, I'm sorry. But the bottom line is the Cubs, they were playing the Dodgers. So they obviously dropped that series against the Dodgers. But before that Dodgers series, the Cubs are one of the hottest teams in baseball. The Cubs are still going to be a good team. The Reds will be battling it out with them for a good chunk of the back half of this season. Obviously, the same thing with the Pirates. The Pirates are vastly improved. The Reds and Pirates both greatly improved in the offseason. I just don't think that the Pirates have the stamina, and I don't think that they have I don't think they're as good as the Reds, even though they did take 2 or 3 from the Reds back in early April. But we won't have to wait long for the Reds and Pirates to go head-to-head again, because once the Reds finish up this series with the Rockies, and they'll finish that up on Saturday, the Reds will turn their attention right back towards Pittsburgh, as we'll see the Reds at Pittsburgh coming up on Friday. But that's a big series on Friday. But that series has less meaning if they can't take care of business against the Rockies, as far as that's concerned. 937-518-1410. Thoughts on the Reds? Where are we when it comes to the Cincinnati Reds as far as that's concerned? Because like I said, there's still stuff that you should be concerned about and be negative about, but to sit here and forget about 18-10, don't gloss over that. This team has been a game or 2 above 500 max to close out April in the last 10 plus years. And here they are at 18-10 and have a good chance to close out the month of April with 20 wins. And I'm saying that as if they're going to take 2 or 3 from the Rockies, and they should. Hell, you sweep the Rockies, you're sitting at 21 wins. Like I said, 3 years ago, the Reds didn't pick up their 20th win of the season until June. 2 years ago, the Reds didn't pick up their 20th win of the season until May 20th. Last year, the Reds didn't pick up their 20th win of the season until May 10th. So, yes, this team, flaws and all, monstrously better than what they've been in recent seasons. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio. Chase Burns on the mound tonight. When we come back, I'll have the Reds line up for you as they prepare for game one against the Rockies, and more audio from Duke Tobin, the de facto general manager for your Cincinnati Bengals. There's a point that Duke Tobin is trying to continuously repeat over and over and over. He wants you to know what they did. Duke Tobin wants you to know what the Bengals did this offseason, as if you were wrong for doubting them doing this exact thing in recent seasons. So we'll have that audio for you when we come back. I'll have the Reds line up for you as well. More of the Justin Kinner Show next.
Folks, it's game day, and the betting's going to be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave, but a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right. You got to pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot, but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
If you need new roofing, siding or gutters, skylights or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. See Lance Roofing and Siding at their new location at 6903 Dayton Springfield Road in Enon. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722. Online at lanceroofing.com.
The Montgomery County Clerk of Courts Help Center brings the courthouse to the community with its weekly outreach programs to local churches, libraries, and community centers. We help you navigate the legal system. Find a location near you at courthouse2u.com. Brought to you by Montgomery County Clerk of Courts Mike Foley.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With Smart Business Buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Get ready to save big during the Hustler Spring Sales Event from April 15th through May 31st. Save up to $350 off the Raptor Series and up to $550 off the Fast Track Series Zero Turn Mowers at participating Hustler dealers. Engineered and tested for long-lasting performance, Hustler mowers are designed to keep you mowing season after season. Visit Small Engine Service Pros on Route 235 in New Carlisle and shop the Hustler Spring Sales Event today. Offer valid April 15th through May 31st, 2026, or while quantities last. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read
Each label uses directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Swing by Frickers this week and treat yourself to one of our unbeatable lunch combos. Choose from your favorites, like the Big Frickin' BLT, cheeseburger, frickin' chicken wrap, and more. Each with a side and drink for just $10.99. Plus, use the Frickers app and score double points on lunch for a limited time. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Whether you dine in or grab it to go, lunch just got a whole lot tastier and more rewarding. At your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at truegreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
For all of your tree needs, you've got to call Tackett Tree Service. Headquartered in Dayton and family owned since 1949, Tackett Tree Service delivers professional quality tree services to residential and commercial customers, including tree removal, pruning, trimming, stump grinding services. Plus, they have firewood and mulch for sale and even specialize in tree health care too. Call Tackett 7 days a week, 7 to 7, and emergency service 24/7. Call 937-630-2743 or see Tackett'sTreeService.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. It is 4:23 now here in the Miami Valley. It's the Justin Kinner Show, Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. 937-518-1410. That's the number to call or text to jump in on the conversation. We'll get to your calls coming up here in just a second. I do have the Reds lineup for you here tonight. And again, we'll have the Reds and the Rockies getting underway coming up here tonight. But yeah, it was crazy to me to see where the Reds were record-wise at this point. I mean, I knew they were 18-10, but I knew this was a significantly more decent start to a season than what we've seen in recent years. But it's not just a slightly better start than in recent years. It's a dominant start to the season, more so in recent years. The only teams in the National League that have gotten off to a hotter start than the Reds are the Padres, who spend a crap ton of money, and the Dodgers and the Braves, who are 20-9. Dodgers and Braves are 20-9, sitting atop the National League, and they have a game and a half better than the Reds. And the Reds have been without their top two starters and have been consistently the worst offensive team in baseball, which is all that much more impressive that, minus the large payroll, minus their top two starters, and minus, consistent, production from any bat throughout the lineup outside of less than a handful of guys, the fact that they're even in there, it's insane. Like I said, I went back and started kind of combing through the records of the starts of the Reds record, through the month of April over the last 10 plus years. But last year, the Reds didn't win their 20th game of the season until May 10th. 2 years ago, the Reds didn't win their 20th game of the season until May 20th. 3 years ago, the Reds didn't win their 20th game of the season until until June. And now, if the Reds continue their series win streak and take 2 of 3 from the Rockies, which is, I think, more than expected, they'd have 20 wins to start the month of May. I get it. This team's not perfect. This team is a pain in the ass to watch with offensively. I mean, if it's not Elly De La Cruz and it's not Sal Stewart, this team they're hard to watch offensively. But it also makes what they've done so damn impressive when you look at how many 1-run, 2-run games that they have won. They've won 4 shutout games already this season. They have not gotten swept. So I just think the fact that they've been able to do all of that with their flaws, I think that shows you just how fun this team actually is when it's all said and done. And that come from behind win that they had against the Tigers the other night, I chalked that up to a loss. I turned it off. Next thing I know, my phone's lighting up with all these alerts, and I go back and check, and it was one of the most exciting finishes to a Reds game that I've watched in a while. So I think the Rockies aren't a fun team. They're not a good team. But if the Reds aren't careful, if they overlook the Rockies, it could be a bad night for them. It could be a bad closeout to April. They've been too good. They've been too good this month to go out with a stinker against the Rockies. So they have to get out to a hot start, and they get that underway coming up here later on tonight. Again, 6:40 the first pitch. 6:10, we'll have pregame coverage for you right here on 1410 ESPN Radio with Chase Burns on the mound. As far as the lineup is concerned, Dane Myers will get the start. He'll bat first. Okay, he'll bat first to get the start in center field. Batting second, and at second is Matt McClain. Elly De La Cruz will get the start at short and bat third. And the cleanup spot at first base will be Sal Stewart. In left field, batting fifth will be Spencer Steer. Lowe will bat seventh, and he's the designated hitter tonight. Behind the plate and batting eighth is Tyler Stevenson, and Reese Hines will be over in right field. And, of course, I got the lineup all butchered. My apologies. Hines will bat eighth, my apologies, and Hayes at third base will bat ninth. So let's pretend I'm a professional sports talk radio show host, and let's get this lineup down pat. Leading things off, batting first in center field will be Dane Myers. Batting second, and at second will be Matt McClain. At shortstop, batting third is Elly De La Cruz. Batting cleanup and at first base, batting fourth will be Sal Stewart. Batting fifth and in left field, Spencer Steer. Lowe, the designated hitter. All right. He will bat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll bat sixth. How about that? Stevenson will bat seventh, Hines eighth, and Hayes ninth. That's your lineup. That was painful. That was as painful as watching the Reds at bat at times. But Myers, McClain, De La Cruz, your 1, 2, and 3 hitters. 4, 5, and 6 belong to Stewart, Steer, and Lowe. And then Stevenson, Hines, and Hayes round out your bottom third of the order for the Reds with Chase Burns on the mound. That Eugenio Suarez injury is kind of unfortunate, I will say. But I think, the dominant start from Sal Stewart. What did I see earlier today? I got to go pull this up. It was kind of annoying, actually. I thought it was kind of fascinating that, Ellie's getting the love that he should get. No problem with Elly De La Cruz getting the love that he's getting. But CBS, apparently, they put out their 2026 All-MLB team 1 month into the season. Elly De La Cruz obviously made the cut. Sal Stewart did not. I love Elly De La Cruz, and maybe I'm just I'm fascinated by the new shiny toy in Sal Stewart. But I think that you can't have one without the other. I think that they both have been equally as dominant. I think they are both equally as important. And I don't know if, gun to my head, which one has been more impressive. I don't know which one's been more impressive. I think the fact that Sal Stewart's a rookie, I guess, would have me leaning his direction. Sal Stewart, his emergence 1 month into the season, and I shouldn't say 1 month into the season. We saw glimpses of it last year in the final month of the season, 2 months into his career. This is a guy that, honestly, we looked at what the Pirates did with their, big time rookie that they called up. They got that big extension done. The Reds need to jump on Sal Stewart quickly. The Reds are not going to be able to afford Elly De La Cruz, and hell, they may not be able to afford Sal Stewart. But the bottom line is, the Reds cannot. Can you imagine the morale of the fan base if you lose Elly and Sal Stewart because you can't pay either of those two? The Reds have to keep one of two. They're not keeping Elly. But man, Sal Stewart's just been phenomenal 1 month in. A lot can happen. He can come down to earth. The league can catch up with him. But when you think of the hype of this kid before he was called up, when you think about the way he, jumped onto the scene in the month of September last year, when you think about how he has just dominated from opening day throughout, I don't know. I think that, the reason he had all this hype, you hear, when you look around baseball and the biggest names in baseball are touting this kid, saying, oh man, the Reds know he's the real deal. Juan Soto with the Mets coming out and saying that, no, like this kid, like he might be one of the best, if not the best hitter in baseball. I mean, that's crazy to me. I don't think he's the best hitter in baseball, but like that's when you're getting that type of praise from some of the best around the league, that shows you the kind of class that he's expected to be in, and he's wasting no time in putting the Reds in that position. But either way, 937-518-1410. Jody on Facebook talking about the Reds start throughout the month of April. Monumental achievement. I was talking about the Bengals. I'm sorry. We'll get to the Bengals in a moment. Damon Hahn says, I don't see it that way. I see it as the Reds have been grinding and have not started rolling. They are winning, but it's a struggle. I just, man, you're not wrong. It has been a struggle. This team is far from perfect. I don't think that they're perfect, but 18-10, they don't lose close games. They find ways to win games. They're not out of any game, and they don't have a great lineup. They have all the excuses in the world to get off to a start that we've seen in recent years, that game or two below 500, a game or two above 500. We've seen 3-17 starts. We've seen horrific starts. They have every excuse to get off to a start in April like we've seen over the last 10 years, but this team's different. Because I don't know why we're not willing to give this pitching staff the credit that it deserves, the bullpen the credit it deserves, the rotation the credit that it deserves. I think that this team is the identity is pitching. The weakness is their hitting. The identity is their pitching. And they're winning because of their identity. This team's actually easy to figure out. It's not that complicated. They're winning because of their pitching. And guess what? That's kind of the identity of any Terry Francona-led team. If you think back to those Indians teams, if you think back to those late Guardians teams before he retired, those lineups weren't anything super special. You know, if you think about the fact that they could trade a Trevor Bauer, they can move on from some of their top pitchers in that rotation and yet just keep winning games. That was the identity of the Terry Francona Indians. And it's kind of crazy because this identity was starting to form before Francona got here, but the identity of the Reds is the same identity that existed for the Indians when Terry Francona was there. Kind of wild. 432 here in the Miami Valley, 937-518-1410. Let's go to Shaw. Shaw, you are on live, sir.
How you doing, man?
Another day in paradise.
Yep, just walking around here, decided to turn you on, and what do I hear? Shots fired.
Shots fired. I saw your post. I saw your post. I was like, oh, what are we doing? You would suck the fun out of the Reds' 18-10 dominant start to the month, the first month of the season.
Because I brought realism into the conversation.
What's the realism in this?
You're smarter than that. You know what's going on here.
No, what's going on here? I want to know.
If this starting rotation cannot get through the sixth inning, and I'm tired of hearing about what the AI bots say and what they keep trying to tell you that is what's important in baseball. You can sit there and you can go look up any of the major starters and the major rotations in baseball right now, and they're making it through the sixth inning. This continues. And see, I don't even really want to go negative here. If you remember last week, I called in here and I told you that I was actually starting to believe, and we were joking around that I just put a hex on the Reds. Well, obviously I didn't. But anyway, nonetheless, I'm just worried that 2 of the last 3 games, this bullpen's already imploded. And I think I can see this trend becoming a serious problem if the starters keep refusing to get out of the sixth inning, or at least even trying to get into the sixth inning. Like, we're pulling pitchers after the 5th, like they've thrown 120 some odd pitches. And the more innings this bullpen gets, the more pitches these pitchers have to throw. Okay, everything looks fine and dandy. It looks beautiful right now here in April. Come talk to me come July 4th, come trade deadline, and see where this bullpen's sitting. And I understand I'm begging for trouble. I understand that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be realistic and look forward ahead.
But how is it not begging for trouble? Like, you're taking a team that's off to its best start in over a decade plus. They have the 4th best record in the National League, and what separates the best record from their record is a game and a half. There's really nothing. I mean, you're finding something to complain about. Like that. How are you not begging for trouble there? You are trying to find something negative.
I posted that on Sunday after what happened Friday night and what happened Sunday.
They won the series.
They won the series. Yes, congratulations.
That's what matters. Winning.
Hey, this is where you and I get in our trouble all the time.
Because you
I
hate
sit there
winning?
and I sit there and I forward think something and I look forward ahead, and you expect me to just completely overlook it and forget it and just live in the here and now. Well, that's not how I do things in life, and that's not how I do things while watching sports teams.
I mean, we don't have to get all
the here and now-
philosophical here. I mean, it's a hot start in the month of April. There's really no reason to be negative about the pitching. You're complaining about the pitching, and the pitching is the only reason that they're 18-10 to begin with.
It's not me being negative. It's me being realistic and looking at a problem that could.
The average distance for
you
starting
read the
pitchers
whole
into a
text.
game is just over 5+ innings, and the Reds are actually averaging more than that. So I don't understand, or they're averaging right
They're
at
not.
that. They're averaging right at that. So I don't understand what the problem is.
They're not getting into the 6th inning, and they haven't done it for 2 weeks now. And you can see
And
the
yet they
tax
keep
starting
winning.
to wear on the
And yet they're
bullpen.
winning.
For now.
For now, that's all we could go off of. Tune in tomorrow as we react to the Reds' loss in September. Oh, wait, it's April. We can't do that yet. So, yes.
Again, like I just said 5 seconds ago, this is where you and I get in our trouble. Because you sit there and you want to just react to here and now, and you want to put no forward thinking into anything.
Well, no, sometimes there's such thing as doing too much forward thinking, because what is the point of even talking Reds or any sport right now? Let's just wait till the trophy is lifted, and then we'll just recap the whole season.
No. No.
Yes.
We can sit there and talk both. Both are the correct
How?
answer. We can talk.
We
here
only
and
know
now,
what we know
and
now.
can
What
talk
we know
about
now
issues
is this
that
team
could
is
be
18-10.
foreseen in
They're
the
first
future.
place of the NL Central, one of the worst offensive teams in baseball, one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. They're without their top 2 starters, and they keep finding ways to win. All they do is win 1- and 2-run games. They find ways to win. They come back to win the game on Friday night against the Tigers. That's a
For
great
now,
feel-good story,
they
but there
win a
you are
one-run
talking
game
about, look at
Sunday.
all the runs that they gave up. Look at all the runs that they
didn't win a
finally
run one-
scored.
They didn't win a run one game Sunday.
Who cares?
The
They're
Bullpen didn't
18-10.
survive Friday.
This is the best start that they've had. They didn't win their 20th game last year until May 10th. They didn't win their 20th game 2 years ago until May 20th, and they have a good chance to take 20 wins into the month of May.
And here
And
you
we're
are
mad
bringing
because on
emotions
Friday
into
night they
a
didn't do
factual
this.
fight. And you're bringing emotions into a factual fight. Emotions doesn't win you a fight, bud. You can get all loud and boisterous and and get all excited all you want. It doesn't win anything.
Okay.
The facts are this. Yes,
The facts are they're
about to win
18-10,
20
my
games.
guy. Those are the facts.
Yeah, they're 18-10, and they could be 19-9 or 20
Oh,
and
shoot.
8
Darn it.
already.
I'm so pissed. The Reds are 18-10, but I'm not going to be
No,
happy
it's not.
about it
It's
because
not
they could
about
be
being mad or
19-9.
anything. Like I already said earlier in the call, you're making me go negative on the whole thing.
That is
That's not what I
negative.
wanted to do. All it is
The
pointing
identity
out
of the
an
Reds is how
actual-
great their pitching
it's a
is, and you're like, I'm
legit-
not happy with their pitching because they can't get out of the 6th
I
inning.
didn't say that. Well, go read. You want to read the text? Go read the whole text. Don't read half of it to make your point sound good.
It's not making my
Read
point
the
sound
whole
good. It's just
thing.
making my point.
No, it's not making your point. You want to say what makes your point, but it isn't what I said. It's not what I said at all. I said they're playing very good baseball. They're 18-10. Hey, here's a problem that could be on the horizon. Hence, could be. I didn't say it
That's like,
was.
hey,
didn't
I
say it
won
was
the
going to
lottery,
happen.
but damn those freaking taxes. I'm hanging up. 937-518-1410. Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio. Not even Shaw can rain on my Reds parade right now. 18-10, the best record, the best start to a season in over a decade. I only went back and looked at 2015. I guarantee you it's probably going on. I mean, you'd have to go probably to the early 2010s, the last time the Reds got off to as good a start as what they are right now. I mean, it's easy. They're 18-10. Only 3 teams in the National League have a better record than they do. In fact, only 3 teams in baseball have a better record than they do because the Reds would be in first place. Okay, they'd be in first place in any division in the American League. Let's go to AJ in Kettering. AJ, you're on live, sir. AJ, you're on live. AJ.
Justin.
Hey, you're on live, my guy. Hello. Damn it, I knew I should not have done it. I should have just, followed the template. I should have gotten a break at the time that I've been supposed to. So let's start this over again. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio. But we'll be right back.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones to get it done.
Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With Smart Business Buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
KTH Parts Industries in St. Paris is now hiring for third shift stamping equipment support group. You'll have the opportunity to work with cutting edge technology producing high quality automotive components. Do you have this specialized skill in electrical and mechanical aptitude and a working knowledge of troubleshooting electrical units? We're looking for you. KTH offers excellent benefits, including medical, dental, and 401k. Apply today and be valued by a company that sincerely cares about you. Apply online at kth.net, an equal opportunity employer.
It's hard to describe the delicious flavor of Lee's new famous sauce paired with the 12-piece strip meal. We figured we'd give it a shot.
Imagine crispy, golden, fried to perfection chicken dunked in bold, peppery, beautifully balanced famous sauce. Every bite feels intentional, deeply satisfying, and impossible to forget.
In other words, it's just the best there is. The 12-piece strip meal with new famous sauce. Only at Lee's. Famous for a reason.
Polking Bowling Centers are your connection for family fun or a great night out with friends. Looking for a clean and safe venue for your new grad celebration? Check out our VIP suite at Polking Lane South. Set the mood for your event with a state-of-the-art VIP experience in our private 8 lanes VIP suite. Booking now for spring and summer events. Let the good times roll at Polking Lane South in Centerville on Kings Ridge Drive, Woodman Lanes in Kettering on Woodman Drive, and Polking Lanes in Dayton on Wilmington Avenue.
For some people, pain doesn't just hurt your body, it takes everything. That was Jay for 15 years.
I spent more time laying down in bed because even sitting on chairs hurt. I couldn't walk around, couldn't stand up straight. My pain got so bad, I was running out of hope, not just in treatment, but in life in general.
Then, just like you're doing right now, Jay heard a radio commercial right here in Dayton that led him to QC Kinetics and their regenerative treatments that go beyond masking pain.
Within an hour or two after the treatments, I felt like, 70% of what I was feeling was just sort of dissolved.
From surviving to living again. For Jay, that changed everything.
I'm able to do things. I get a chance to play with my grandkids. I'm physically not in that pain anymore because of QC Kinetics.
If you've been living in pain, this is your moment. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325.
If you need new roofing, siding or gutters, skylights or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. See Lance Roofing and Siding at their new location at 6903 Dayton Springfield Road in Enon. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722. Online at lanceroofing.com.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a super fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. But wait, there's more. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be switching to an American wireless company that's committed to keeping 100% of its customer service in this country. I appreciate that. In fact, that's why I switched. I also appreciate the way they support our vets and our skilled workforce. Dial pound 250, say micro, and get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. That's pound 250 micro. Stop paying twice what you need to pay for the service you want and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
All right, and we are back. It's 4:45 here in the Miami Valley. The Reds back in action tonight after an off day. Shout out to Shaw for calling in. I think. Reds are off to one of their best starts probably since the early 2010s, right? Like I only tracked it back to 2015, but 18-10. I know I'm repeating a lot of the same points over and over and over, but it's like I have to keep saying it. It doesn't matter how many times I say them, it still sounds crazy. 2 years ago, the Reds didn't win their 20th game of the season until June. The Reds have 18 wins right now, and if they take 2 or 3 from the Rockies, which they should, they'll be sitting at 20 wins on May 1st. They didn't win their 20th game of the season last year until May 10th. They didn't win their 20th game of the season 2 years ago until May 20th. So 3 years ago is when they didn't win their 20th game till June. But the bottom line is we've seen these slow burn starts to the season where it's like they win a couple series, lose a couple series. You feel good for a bit, you feel bad for a bit. And this is a start to a season that this isn't just good based on Red standards. This is good based on the trajectory of the league. I mean, the Dodgers are 20-9. They're a game and a half better than the Reds. The Dodgers are way better than the Reds, don't get me wrong. But if we're talking about starts to a season, I mean, again, everyone could do this. Well, I just don't think that's going to bode well for them when we get deeper into the season. Then we will cross that bridge when we will get deeper into the season. I host a sports talk radio show every day, which means every day I have new information based on what we have seen most recently. And what I can only go off of is what we have seen to this point. And what we have seen to this point is the Reds get off to an 18-10 start. Now, if in the next week they are 18-5 and they are playing poorly, then I'll talk about the pitching issues if there are any. Then we'll talk about how the hitting woes have caught up with this team. And then we'll talk about, Terry Francona, who I think is a genius, is now all of a sudden putting, bad players in the lineup and this, that, the other. Like, information changes. But what we know, like, to sit there and look at them playing their best baseball at this point of the season in well over 10 years, but to talk about, well, I just don't think they're going to be good in July because these pitchers can't get out of the 6th inning. When the average distance into a game is about 5.5 innings, which, by the way, I still don't think is great. Okay. I don't care. I mean, I'm just pointing out that the Reds aren't doing anything below what the median is in baseball at this point. And we're also talking about like the Reds who are throwing out 5 pitchers every week without their top 2 pitchers, who that would obviously bring that average significantly up with Nick Lodolo and Hunter Green. And to be honest, when those 2 come back, they're going to be eased into a situation where they're not going to go deep into ball games to start either. This rotation, by the way, a lot of this stuff, a lot of these managers with a younger rotation like this, they don't really want these guys going as deep into it. I don't like that, but that's just how baseball's managed today. It just is. And the Reds knew that they were going to have, they had a good rotation, but they also knew they have some fragile guys in this rotation, which is why they leaned so heavily into spending all of their money in the bullpen in the offseason. So the bullpen is making up for the lack of innings from the rotation. That's what they were paid to come in and do. This team's not perfect, but either are the Dodgers. The best team in baseball has flaws. So to sit here and panic about the Reds' flaws, give me a break. I'm not worried about that. And when those flaws do start to, obviously tear this team down, we'll talk about it at that point. But I'm not going to sit here and not enjoy an 18-10 start and not enjoy the fun series win over the Tigers. I know they lost the finale, but my God, they took 2 or 3 and they had that amazing come from behind win. And instead of Shaw focusing on the awesome come from behind win where they had to score runs, something they don't do, it was, well, look at all the runs that the pitchers gave. Well, you focus on that. I'll focus on this. 937-518-1410. AJ, let's try this again. You're on live, sir.
All right, I'm on. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can. What you got for me?
All right, so I love the start to the season. They're looking great. Do see some flaws, but I have to side with Shaw.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. I will. Oh, gosh. AJ, come on. You made me defend the Bengals recently, and now you're taking Shaw's side? Are you trying to? I'll let you talk.
So
no, you're not going to take Shaw's side. I can't let that. No, for real. You could take Shaw's side, but why are you taking his side?
Because some of the wins, a good portion of the wins that the Reds have won have been low-scoring games, and it's not too dissimilar from one-score games in the NFL. You're eventually going to regress to the median, and you're not going to end up winning all these low 1, 2, 3, 1 wins. You're going to end up losing those games. we've got a small sample size, and he's not being unreasonable, I guess is what I'm saying. And I know you get defensive with him, and he can be a little prickly, but
you could take the LY off the end for my guy Shaw over there. You know, what up, Shaw?
But I think that was what he was trying to get to. Like it's a lot of Reds fans are disillusioned, Justin. This is great, but we're expecting the bottom to fall out at some point because it happens very often, every year. Last year we had the same conversation. The Reds had an awesome May, if you recall, like late April, May, and then the rest of the summer was not that great. Now they were able to put it together towards the end of the season and squeak into the playoffs, barely, but there is a good chance that they're gonna regress.
I mean, but you don't know that. You don't know that.
Well, you don't know that they're going to flourish.
What I do know is that they're 18-10, and that's what the whole point of this was. I was reacting to how awesome it is for them to be off to this start. So that's what I do know. What I do know is they're 18-10, and you don't know that they're going to fall off a cliff. And I can't guarantee you that they're going to continue on this pace. But like I said, I crack this mic every day and react to what I know now. And what I know now is they're 18-10, and only the Dodgers, Braves, and Padres, they're the only teams in baseball that have a better record, and that's only by a game and a half. We're talking 20 wins to 18 wins. I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to live in that what could happen world, because I'm going to we can react to what could happen. I'm going to also react to what is happening right now and what has happened in the past. And what has happened up to this point right now totally erases what has happened in the past, because if you base it off of that, they shouldn't be where they're at right now at 18-10. They're finding ways to win, and they're going to lose tonight. They're going to lose this series, and it's going to all be because of this. And I'm going to hate you and Shaw, and it's just going to be a horrible month of May, and you guys have ruined my month of April.
You just have to be realistic.
I'm very realistic. There is nothing more realistic than acknowledging that they are 18-10.
Think about the Chiefs a couple years ago. All those one-score games that they won, and media was even saying, like, this is going to end up falling out. You're not going to continue winning all these one-score games. And then what happened the following season? They don't make the playoffs.
Oh, no, they're going to lose it. You jumped ahead of season. What ended up happening that season? They got to a Super Bowl. Their third straight Super Bowl. Flaws exist. The Dodgers have flaws. They're way better than the Dodgers. They're way better than the Reds, but I'm just saying. But all right, AJ, you the man, even though you do take Shaw's side on this, I'll forgive you. But I appreciate you listening to calling. What?
It's rare that I do, but I just wanted to jab you a little bit.
Get off my phone lines. Hey, have a good night. All right, the Reds, I tell you what, the Reds are going to win tonight. They are going to win. Let's see. What's our score prediction tonight? Chase Burns is on the mound. Man, there's a lot that's going to go wrong tonight. I know how this is going to go. It's going to be annoying. Chase Burns is going to go 4 innings. He's going to give up 3 runs right off the bat. The bullpen might give up 1 more run, and the Reds will lose 4-2 tonight. I think the Reds lose 4-2 tonight because of all this. Because of all this drama with Shaw being pissed off because he has to pay taxes after winning the lottery. Oh, the 18 wins at the end of April. Yeah, but remember that starter on Friday? They couldn't make another 6th inning. Freaking bums. One of the best rotations in baseball. And we're going to nitpick. Anyways. All right. It's the Justin Kinder Show, 1410 ESPN Radio. Have a great night, everybody. We'll do this again tomorrow. I got nothing. AJ calling in to agree with Shaw. Shaw's creating an army now, apparently. I can't take it. Have a good night, everybody. Until tomorrow, the Justin Kinder Show, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Are you ready?
It's hard to describe the delicious flavor of Lee's new famous sauce paired with the 12-piece strip meal. We figured we'd give it a shot.
Imagine crispy, golden, fried to perfection chicken dunked in bold, peppery, beautifully balanced famous sauce. Every bite feels intentional, deeply satisfying, and impossible to forget.
In other words, it's just the best there is. The 12-piece strip meal with new famous sauce. Only at Lee's. Famous for a reason.
It's spring, the season for gardening and outdoor fun. Mad River Mulch and Topsoil is here to help as the region's leading provider of mulch, rock, processed topsoil, sand, and compost. We specialize in your garden needs and home oasis. Did you know we have playground mulch to keep the kids safe this summer? Yes, and we offer delivery to your home or business.